Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to the Kiev Major Southeast Asian Qualifiers. We're going to be taking a look at game number 3. We've gone the distance, we've made the strides. Mineski and TNC Pro Team are going to be facing off one game to decide who's going to the Kiev Major. I'm Lyrical, going to be joined as well by Lumi. Lumi, tell me right now, we're seeing the draft start to play out. What are you looking for out of these two teams in the game number 3?
What do you mean, in terms of hero picks or playstyle or?
Most likely play style. Like, you can play heroes in a lot of different ways, but play style is, I feel like, what's going to define this game.
I think TNC does not want to play a game where they are not dictating the pace. I think they're able to play those type of game, but I think they're at their best when they're kind of making you react to their aggression, their tower pushing. So I think that's what TNC is going to aim for. So picking not exactly kind of all-in tower pushing strategy, but heroes that could move around the map, that could take objective with ease, and you know, hopefully force Mineski to react and make mistakes.
All right, well, we'll see if that's going to be able to happen in this one. I think that Mineski, likewise, probably going to be trying to do a bit of the split pushing style. I think in general that suits them well, and we saw it come out to the tune of them winning last game. Just really impressive Ember Spirit play. You were talking about at the end of the draft how much you felt like he did in that game, dodging the RP at the end to secure the win and being able to just spew out all that magical damage. Is that something that you feel like they might think about going back for here?
No, I think it really fit the scenario because we were kind of towards the end of the last draft. We were saying, you know, what should we pick here for Mineski, and Ember was really only the logical choice. Yeah. So I think it was more of a good pick that fit that game rather than a pick that you just kind of force into. I think the other kind of thing we cannot forget is that Nyx Assassin was literally casting Ravages every single fight. So RR, I'm happy to see him getting that hero again. And of course, we seen what Ninja Boogie was able to do. But I think we might see a little switch around, right? Because generally, Ninja Boogie plays a CM and Jules plays the Earth Spirit instead.
I think so, actually. Yeah, you're right. So that is a different look. Oh man.
Oh, God.
You know what they're doing now.
Sam H. Omni Knight. Oh, it's done.
You know,
it's done. Dude.
How is the matchup of Omni versus Slark? Because if he is able to get out of the laning stage, okay, I feel like Slark is so good in this match.
I don't think you could beat Omni with a Slark. Because Crystal Maiden adds like nothing to the lane against an Omni, right?
Okay.
Omni just walks up to your CM and just smacks her around. So you need a core that actually, you know, makes Omni Knight a little bit scared.
Okay. We'll have to figure out what that is. I mean, they could go for, like... Troll's already been banned out. I mean, could they go Naga?
It's banned.
So no, is what you're telling me.
No, it's not. So I don't think the Ursa is either a good pick here.
Yeah. Simply
because it's very good against the Omni Knight in the laning stage, but apart from that, there's so many ways to actually kite the Ursa. Just with Guardian Angel, Purification, or a swap. Weaver has Sakuchi to deal with, so I mean, even though it's one of the comfort picks for Mineski, I just don't think Ursa is the pick here.
They're instead going to go back for Mirana. So another, I believe, Miracle Classic. This is another one that I've seen him play quite often.
Right.
And just completely destroy on. And a Diffusal Carrier as well for being able to pump out the damage through the Guardian Angel.
I'm pretty certain that the 2 times that he's ran the Mirana, it's next to an Alchemist. Because when you're running a Mirana in the safe lane, you need kind of a pretty heavy physical damage dealer from the mid lane, right? I think Shadow Fiend fills a similar-ish role, and that's maybe something that Mineski will kind of lean back towards to instead. But the Alchemist is already taken out, in fact, by themselves.
Yeah, not wanting to give that away to TNC, obviously, who had already built into the Weaver and Ogre. They could have, like, gone for an Alch draft with a support Weaver, and then you're suddenly in a position where you're time-lapsing an Alchemist, which just sounds terrible. But yeah, ban's now there. They're still, I'm assuming, looking for that safe lane hero. Possibly, I mean, the Jug is still in the pool if they wanted to go that route themselves. They banned the Ember.
Huh. I'm not even sure whether Mineski... Oh, actually, maybe Mirana and Ember was paired together once by Mineski. I recall seeing something like that.
But for now, I mean, the thing to keep in mind is that with Earth Spirit and Crystal Maiden, Earth Spirit's going to be able to have a better time in the laning phase than he might have otherwise, where you have that mana regeneration that's constantly there. They just need to make sure that they're not taking a hero that's too weak in lane against that Omni Knight. And
right. Well, this is their lane, right? Mirana, CM, Earth Spirit. That's their safe lane.
You think so?
Yeah, they always run safe lane Mirana. They never do mid Mirana.
Okay.
So that I think that's actually decent against Omni Knight. Omni Knight does have repel to actually kind of break through this kind of chain of disables, especially if they rely on the Crystal Maiden Frostbite. But if Earth Spirit rolls on with the silence, then things are going to be turned around.
Okay. We'll have to watch and see if that indeed does happen. Down to the very much the wire from Mineski, their last pick to see who it is.
Shadow
secure them to Finn, and there it is. Lumi does it again.
TNC's turn to pick.
Dr. Lumi.
That's right. I give life lessons.
Oh, so last pick from TNC now. Most likely going to need a mid as well. TA still in the pool.
Yeah, TA
well.
sounds pretty good here in my opinion. Team fights might get a little bit awkward when it comes to like being magnetized and frostbitten, but I think between the repel from Omni Knight and Guardian Angel, I find it very difficult to see how Mineski is going to reliably kill the TA.
They need to be careful about the Earth Spirit pulls in mid, and I guess that's going to be Ogre's job, is to go and try and disrupt that.
I mean, that's assuming Mineski is doing that in the first place.
I feel like, did we see them do it yesterday? I feel like we might have.
Somebody did it.
I'm not. It was one of those games, and I think it might have been.
Were we casting together when we?
Yeah.
What game did we cast together yesterday? We casted the Faceless
Mineski series. Yeah, we did cast the Faceless Mineski series. So I don't know. In any case, it's something to consider. They'll be able to identify really quickly if that is indeed what they're doing.
Oh right, I remember it was an Ember versus Jabs' Ember versus an Ursa, and then the mid lane pulled.
Yeah, and it became even like worse because the Ember Spirit. Anyways, yeah, basically they do it though, or at least they've seen it. If they wanted to make it happen themselves.
I don't know exactly how difficult that pull is to execute. Like it might be something that you need to practice before you could, do it in a road game.
And Juggernaut is the last pick. Fits within the ethos of TNC. They're going to give it to him, and we're moving now into game number 3. Mineski facing off against TNC Pro Team, and I mean, it's very clear what each side is trying to do. Pressure early on TNC, hold out the game for Mineski, defend high ground. They've still got great team fight, though, for Mineski as well. They could kind of get some stuff done early as well.
To kind of, not exactly dumb it down, but to like, yeah, I guess dumb it down is the right word for it. I feel like both of these lineups are really doing very similar things. They both have similar timings in terms of where they're strong and where they're kind of weak. Their lanes are all kind of decent to team fights. It's not like, one team has Ravage, Black Hole, RP, and the other team doesn't. It's fairly close on all metrics. So this is a very appropriate last game between the two teams. Who's going to play better? I think that's going to really decide. I don't think any side has a really stronger draft.
All right, well, we're hopping into it now, and no pause this time. Everybody just wants to get in here and play some good old Dota. Ninja Boogie is going to place down a ward in kind of an interesting spot. I do like that one, unlikely to be dewarded. Also, the Ogre is going to be able to move and spot out any rotations that come. We'll see if any of these get taken down early, as it does look like Raven has spotted Ninja Boogie. Might expect that this is getting dewarded over here. That's actually a really cool play. So they're going to maybe even be able to bait out a sentry.
Yes and no. Simply for the fact that, okay, just, you're right.
Yeah, nicely done.
I was going to say, like, yes, the smoke was broken here, but then it was so late. If you expected him to TP immediately, which most players do, he's already walked around the map a bunch.
Yeah.
But, I mean, smoke broke here, so you kind of logically check there. But anyways.
So one sentry used. With the Weaver in the game as well, it's always going to be a bit of a scare. Raven is playing that one.
Did they not see that ward?
I'm sure they're leaving it for the Shadow Fiends.
Okay. Easy souls.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes the most sense to give it to him, too. They might even give him another Tango at some point, so that way he can just get it quickly. But we will have to see what way they decide to take this. Juggernaut on Cuckoo. We've talked about the potential for him to play it. He has been running on the every other hero throughout this whole course of the game, but taking the Weaver for Raven, it means, you know, Juggernaut is now going to need to be played by Cuckoo.
Yep. Now, I don't think Jay should ever die in this lane unless he's making a misplay. It also comes down to whether Cuckoo goes for boots first as his major item, being ferried out, or bottle. Most likely going to see some boots. Jay already under an immense amount of pressure.
Yeah.
Tim's coming in with that ignite.
God, and honestly, like the Quelling Blade and the Poor Man's Shield here on Cuckoo to start this game, this is really looking rough for Shadow Fiend. He definitely needed that ward for any little bit of extra CSing that he can do.
I mean, apart from that ward, he's got no other CS to boost his soul, so.
God, and they have a spin available too if they wanted to try and pressure. They've got this lane. They're pushing it under tower to the best of their abilities.
Which is not bad here. Shadow Fiend's going to have a tough time getting the last hit. Ninja Boogie's going to help it out. And that's a big wave.
Yeah,
Shadow Fiend's got to be very careful.
This is a lot of pressure. Everybody just run mid apparently. And if they want to, they could just spin down this wave too. It looks like they're going to just go for the regular old denies. But fighting underneath the tier 1 tower, Cuckoo is out of his mind. And, well, he's taking a lot of harassment for this. What is going on already? They're just pressuring the tower.
The next wave is here, so they could actually back out safely. The stun's going to come through. Tim's doesn't have the tower aggro. One raise is going to soften them up a little bit. I mean, on one end, it feels like they have taken a lot of damage. On the other, as the Raven gets a first blood on the aura on the bottom lane, on the other, this Shadow Fiend doesn't have that much CS.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of worth, I guess.
It's a very interesting start to this one. Of course, TNC losing out and picking up that first kill on RR. I think that that's fairly well, you know, good for the side of TNC here. And we're going to have to see if this Shadow Fiend can really do anything. Like Ninja Boogie going to kick Tim's back under. He's an ogre, though. He really doesn't care. Now the stun, they're going to be able to run him down. Shadow Fiend is going to end up probably falling here. And Ninja Boogie might over as well. Cuckoo, very low, and Tim dying to the tower. They find another kill. Everybody run mid is definitely the way this game is going. And Tim's trying to run away, taking a ton of these right clicks, and looks like he is going to be able to regen through it. What a hero.
RR missing that impale, man. That would have been a very clean kill. But very good rotation from both the Venge and the Nyx Assassin coming in to secure some kills. Man, that fight went on forever.
Yeah, the big downside, of course, is going to be the Shadow Fiend dying first. And it's a TNC 1,500 gold lead at 2 minutes in almost. It's pretty absurd how well this early game has started for him.
Yeah, and that's going to be the second death of RR as well. As much as, you know, how well RR played last game, a lot of those plays came from the mid and late game. I think his laning stage also struggled rather immensely in that game.
Man, and look at Cuckoo here, just going to dive back in again. Almost ends up getting caught out there by Ninja Boogie. They are going to stun, looking for a raise. Gets one, gets two, very low. Is he going to drop? No. Ninja Boogie can't catch up.
Yep. No, I do believe Shadow Fiend will need to take that Shrine trip relatively soon.
But that Juggernaut already used his, so he has to walk all the way back home now. Yeah, this hurts. Cuckoo maybe getting a bit too aggressive here, and this is going to give Shadow Fiend time to catch up.
All right, checking out the top lane here. Omni Knight already able to pick up a ton of CS. The one thing that kind of is crazy about the Sam Mage Omni Knight is that he somehow finds a way to get a ton of farm on this hero. And this hero is actually amazing if you make it past the laning stage. And Sam Mage has time and time again take it past the laning stage without fail. Now, he's not getting a solo kill or anything, but, you know, he's doing just fine.
Yeah. A regen rune picked up there as well for the Earth Spirit. Looks like they want to make a rotation and try and find something in the mid lane. They're going to spot out Ninja Boogie. Smoke breaks on Rior, and so, yeah, this is not going to amount to much. Ninja Boogie should just be able to get out of here, boulder smash, and run away.
Yep.
So 3-1. The other big winner in this laning stage is Raven. I feel like he has just been the best carry that we've seen out of the C region basically, and you know, 30 last hits, 14 denies. He's having a great game already on this Weaver.
I think Black would have something to say about that in terms of consistency.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree. Raven's definitely up there as well.
I've just seen him, like, we don't need to get into comparing the two. But yeah, Raven, quite good. Already off to a hot start here, level 5. It does also look like RR has been able to get a good amount for himself. Level 4, but Omni Knight a little bit the better of it. He might even end up heading into the jungle with that Iron Talon already in hand.
I'm trying to set up a play here against Sam H. I really don't think it's possible. They need to get him in with the mini stun of the Frostbite with the arrow landing at the same time.
Right.
That kind of timing window is a bit too difficult.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, we really haven't seen much out of Miracle yet. Granted, it's just farming away on this Mirana until he gets more levels up and they make a rotation. But look at this movement into the jungle now. Trying to find the Shadow Fiend and not quite going to be able to as he backs out. That would have been a huge kill.
Yep. I like the fact that TNC has also swapped up the warding. Hold that thought, RR is going to get gone on here. Terror giving a little bit of movement speed, but he's actually trapped, I think, inside. That is a Ravage, and now it comes Miracle on the back line. Raven is going to get off the time lapse. Shadowfiend coming in, he's going to let those raises fly. I think he's missing those raises because of the tree lines.
Rior's out.
TP's out because of the missed raise. Tim's on the run, the kick is going to follow through. And despite all of the cores coming in, all they get is just one kill.
On the Ogre after losing the Nyx Assassin, yeah. And again, more space in the mid lane for Cuckoo, more space up top for the Omni Knight, while Raven ended up using time-lapse, but that's not a very long cooldown, so I think they're pretty okay with that.
Yep. Before that engagement happened, I was going to just point out that TNC switching up their warding spot in a long series. Normally it's there. In fact, I do believe Nyx Assassin is pinging to check there.
Right.
And, I mean, they would have been right in game 2. Not right here because the adjustment has been made.
Yeah, good decision. You have 3 heroes now up in the top lane, the dual supports as well as Omni, and it looks like they're going to go hunting again, trying to see if they can find themselves a nice little Crystal Maiden. And actually might be able to do just that.
Well, the ward is going to see Sam H roaming by, and that might tip CM off that she should not be here.
They might have actually spotted them moving into the jungle as well. It's right on the outside edge of it. So they're playing it safe for now, but this is where the look is for a kill.
Ooh. Range creeps will push them away. And in fact, Rior TP's under the vision of the range creep as well, so they definitely know that something is going on somewhere else.
Right. And bottom is where the pressure might next be applied. RR is up front and center, and this is the problem with the draft kind of right now for TNC, is that they don't really have that great cache, but they will be able to pressure this out. You got the maxed out wave of terror right now that we're going for the Venge, so Roche could be in their sights as well.
RR definitely looking for the deny. On the right side though, Ninja Boogie's going to get caught. The silence going to come through. He's looking for the rollway. Nice stun, a secondary stun, but looks like Ninja Boogie's row got blocked off. Ninja Boogie's going to go down. Tower got taken down, I believe, by a siege unit. So a pick and a tower. That's all you could ask for rotations like these.
Great start, and again, we were sitting at about this 1,000 gold lead. It's going to shoot up a little bit further, and so far TNC have been able to make a good go of this. Mineski need to do something to try and stem the pressure that's being applied, and this Vendetta movement might just be it.
Cuckoo. Impale out of Invis, but I don't think Jay was ready. The 2 raises will be enough, though. Clean kill.
Yeah, it did look a little bit sketchy there for a second, but they made it work.
Yep.
That's what's important.
And it is very important for Shadowfiend to have at least a decent-ish start in the early game. Yes, he's a hero that could catch up, but you really want to move into the mid-game with that, Dragonlance / Shadowblade available to you, so you could be the threat on the map. Make sure that TNC is grouping up instead of farming in jungle or farming everywhere. And I just don't think Jay has had that kind of start this game.
You can see right here as well. Miracle is maybe going to be the one that has to carry the load off of Jay not having the best start of it, but he is building towards that Aghanim Scepter. Does have a little bit of worry now that we do have the movement up from the Weaver into his lane, but obviously able to scout out that the Ogre was over there, and Raven going to try and pressure the next tower. Just go around like clockwork.
I mean, I think Miracle has even less CS than the Shadowfiend, but...
Well, yeah. But he does also come online, I think, a little bit earlier as far as being a huge presence in the fight if he can finish off that Ags. They're back, set up, ready to go. Mid lane, Cuckoo gonna get caught, has the Blade Fury, gonna try and spin. No body blocks are there, so he does escape while Venge continues to get a lane to herself down here bottom, and maybe a battle brewing up top.
Mineski just trying their best to hold this push. I mean, I don't think they will be able to stop this push altogether, but if you could waste TNC's time here, that's pretty much all you could ask for. As to say that though, Mineski is rotating in the Nyx.
Oh, Rior, they used the magnetize down bottom, and he's out of mana. Potentially just going to drop in. Oh, reapplies it as well. That might be enough for the kill. Looks like he's dead nonetheless. They find that kill, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to punish Ninja Boogie here either.
He has used all his rocks, kick him away, and rolls away.
Nice play. And that also means because they brought the Earth Spirit down, they can't do anything in the top lane. Last couple minutes looking a little bit better for Mineski here.
Yep.
How do you think that TNC want to play this out now? Like, do they need to wait for a level up and swap before they can really make moves happen? It feels like none of their heroes are really great to start the initiation.
They need to wait for Omni Knight to either finish this mech or whatever his first major item is, because I feel like, you know, Weaver as a hero takes a while to get online. Omni Knight, or not Omni Knight, sorry, Juggernaut at the moment is just an Omni Slash. So they need a hero that could actually help them sustain a long team fight. And Omni Knight's mech, I imagine, is probably the item if he is indeed going for that item. And that means, until he gets to that point, that's a lot of time for Mineski to do whatever the hell they want to be doing. Which, for the moment being, is just farming toward that axe, farming towards the Shadow Blade on Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, and Miracle has been able to stay alive despite multiple rotations into his lane. Still has the 2 points in leap in case things get a little bit too testy. Right now, Raven on top of him. He will still have vision, and maybe possibly ends up popping that wand charge as well. They're continuing the chase. Right click's coming through. Can they find the kill? Fire blast down. Ignite as well. Time lapse comes back. Raven to live, and Ninja Boogie possibly to fall as well. Can they find this chase? Can they get the kill? Mid lane, Cuckoo too far forward, but they can't get him. RR still looking, and it looks like instead they will be able to pull down Ninja Boogie here, using the courier to scout him out.
He's got a roll soon. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, with the ignite, that should be enough. Kill the courier.
Nah, he can't kill the courier.
All right, so tower down, 2 heroes dead, Miracle dead. Mineski need an answer. What's the play for them here?
Well, Jay has bought enough time, or his teammates have bought him enough time, so he has picked up the Shadow Blade. So now suddenly Shadow Fiend goes from a nuker into a person that can walk around to start assassinating people. And with that, I think TNC is going to have to play rather defensive. If they're making these tier 1 tower pushes, they better be coming prepared with sentries. Back in the midnight, RR again. Looks like this time he is going to be detected by the sentry ward instead.
Oh, a lot of pings.
Shadow
they realize that he's over here. Are they going to be able to find it? It would be huge. Oh, might realize that he's in the area, setting up for the Requiem Raven. They end up popping it, but it's not enough damage. Time lapse back. And that is the reveal that they needed so badly to go well. Now repel onto Sam H. He's fine for the moment. They pop the dust as well, so they've got eyes on all of these heroes. They're on top of him, and, well, maybe going to be able to find some more. They get the Guardian Angel out, stunned to turn. Tim's in trouble. Is going to end up running down here, but it looks like they might be able to find something else off the back of it.
Oh, Shadow Fiend coming in on the right side. He is going to get the one right click off, going to get the kill. That Healing Ward to do so much work throughout this fight. It is a chaotic fight. I think a lot of spells has been missed. Mineski will back off. I think they were looking to get way more out of that engagement, and unfortunately, Jay had to blow that Requiem at the start of the fight.
There's no oomph. There's no, like, get in there, get the initiation. Like, even that Requiem, I mean, it was a little bit off the mark, first and foremost, but it's a tough one. Raven's going in.
Oh, they're going to fight again, and this time Mineski did just use the Shrine, so they're pretty fresh. Raven, not going to get stunned up here. Nice juke away.
Yeah, they have vision on him. All of this vision working into the favor of Mineski right now. They're
Arrow.
throwing an arrow. Yeah, good spin away. Recognition that that could have gone bad.
Yeah. And Earth Spirit is out of rock, so there's really no point to fight anymore.
I mean, in that fight, TNC also had vision up on the high ground here with this ward, but that's not really amounting to much. So another movement up towards top. Do we see? I mean, look, they see this whole thing going. So going to be a quick 2 D wards there.
Oh, I think they're looking for a swap play.
Oh, they got him. Stun. He's he's underneath the sentry ward, but won't quite catch.
Yeah, he just walks it off. Sentry. No more detection from TNC.
Okay, 5 to 8, and Cuckoo during this whole time has just been farming away, but they're going to roll in onto him.
Kick, everything's good. The Healing Ward's down though, and now the rotation is coming in from the TNC. Dusts are popping left and right. Ninja Boogie in a good spot. Nice spikes here coming out from. Oh, nice magic missile as well.
He should die, yeah.
That's going to be another tower.
All right. Tier 1 going to go down. TNC just moving from lane to lane to lane. And it doesn't really feel like Mineski have an answer here. Like, you're still a ways away from that Aghanim Scepter on Miracle. He's split pushing. You know,
that's the problem. Like, he actually isn't a hero right now. Just a big range creep. And that's a concern. TNC is riding this momentum. 5-manning super hard.
Well, Roche going to go down now. And the style of play that TNC is shown to be quite potent with is working again here in game number 3.
Ooh.
And Miracle almost goes down to the Omni Slash. Cuckoo.
Impale, arrow to set
This is
things
what they
up.
need. This is so huge. All right, Aegis down.
He's got spin. He's fine.
Now trying to set up the Requiem. All right.
I mean, that was a 0% play, but okay.
It's a pretty long cooldown to use like that. It's unfortunate. So, 9-5. You do have Rior that is scouting out Ninja Boogie with this Invis rune, and it looks like they're going to bring somebody mid. Could be a pretty quick snipe.
Gonna be a quick snipe. There you go.
Yep. Fire Blast to boot. There's going to be the Purification, and he goes down to Cuckoo. And now with the Aegis already used, it's a little bit harder for TNC to make these movements. Like, in spite of the messed up Requiem, it's still a situation where TNC lost the Aegis. And that's something that they needed to keep this snowball rolling.
I mean, without Requiem, like, TNC is not really afraid of Mineski. Like, what the hell? What can they do against the push? Nothing.
Yeah.
So.
And Shadow Fiend showing in the bottom lane as well. Having to split push with a Shadow Fiend. It's not necessarily the greatest thing in the world.
I think TNC needs to take care of their tier 3s a little bit more. Like, right now, all of these pot shots that Shadow Fiend's getting in is actually a big deal. Moving onwards, the mid game for Mineski is all about split push. Mirana at one point in the game will have Blink, Ags, and probably a Lincoln Sphere, so she's going to be pressuring side lanes non-stop. Same thing with the Shadow Fiend's Shadow Blade, so I mean, I know he just only got, what, 3-4 hits onto the tier 3, but those hits add up, and as soon as the tier 3 goes down, Shrine becomes an objective that Mineski can take as well. It seems like whenever these two teams play, the game goes fairly long, and those kind of objectives also will add up.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like also this Nyx Assassin has just been, throughout the whole series, a real problem for whoever has, whoever faces off against it. Setting up for kills, it's just been like the predominant hero of the series so far, and particularly whenever there's the split pushing going on.
This is one of the poorest Nyx I've seen in the C region, though. I mean, normally Ice 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 will have like Midas finish by now.
Yeah.
So this is not a great game for our.
He still does a lot of the same function, though, if they can bring somebody in. But, yeah, I'd agree. It's not been a great one for him.
I mean, yes, he can still do the whole nuking thing, the scouting thing that Nyx can do, but in terms of moving forward, you know, you want a Blink, you want an Axe. I mean, by comparison, if you look at the net worth differential, he's a good 2,000 net worth behind the Omni Knight. The Omni Knight has a full mech on him.
Yeah.
And a gem.
Smoke not going to be scouted. They're going to go for a wraparound here onto the mid lane, or possibly just running right at it while top lane is being pressured by Mineski. They want to take this fight, and they want to take it right now with the mechanism done. Helm of the Dominator done on the Vengeful Spirit that was coming out of the support position.
RR is going to break the smoke right here.
Oh, they do. They are actually a little bit in the advantage as far as the vision is concerned. Cuckoo goes forward, finds RR. He's going to die, so they get at least that kill, but everybody else gets out.
They had a gem, so there was really no way that RR was going to be able to run away. Tanked one for the team. That was a 5-man smoking, so not the worst, but it is pretty bad considering the fact that RR probably is the one that needs the most item right now for the team.
Well, they're going to go mid. You do have the Aghanim Scepter now done on Miracle. It's still going to be a very low HP hero relative to the amount of damage that can be dealt by TNC, so you got to be careful about jumping into the midst of all of these heroes. There's no Blink Dagger for the quick escape. And I'm kind of wondering if even right now the Mineski team needs to sort of sacrifice this first Tier 2 tower.
I think so. I think they're going to use this tower as a buffer zone, essentially, and allow Miracle to draw out the game. Mineski is not looking to win within the next 5 to 10 minutes. They're looking to win in the long haul. And split push is the name of the game right now for the next 15.
All right, tier 2 tower going down. We'll see how TNC respond to this. They know that bottom lane is going to be pushed in by Miracle, and it looks like they're going to think about testing high ground here. It's only a level 1 swap, but Cuckoo up on the high ground. He's level 14. He's got Manta style as well. There's no amp damage this time around to try and stop him from going in, and can dodge away from the stun. Tier 3 tower gain rate to fall. It's 20 minutes in, and they're pushing the tier 3s.
Okay, Impale's going to miss as well. Cuckoo's going to spin away. And I think they're happy with the damage that they were able to do. And more importantly, that push also forced the Mirana to come back. So getting rid of the pressure on the tier 3. And speaking of the tier 3, like compared to the tier 3s on the map, that was a good siege for what, good 30 seconds. They brought it to half HP, but through split pushing alone, the bottom tier 3 for the Radiant is also at half HP. All of those split push adds up, and I think TNC is being somewhat careless.
Oh, they're pinging out. Is that... It looks like it is the dire pings, so Radiant might not realize that this is happening. Vision right now, they don't have it, but they could potentially run into him here. Mineski need to be careful.
Mineski is actually backing. I think they realize this is probably not the spot they want to take a fight at. But there is a BKB, a fresh one, at Shadow Fiend, and only Swap will be able to cancel that ultimate, so...
Okay. And it looks like they are going to fully back out of there. So TNC again, good decision to stick together as they all retreated. He very easily could have had a situation where somebody gets picked off on their way out, and suddenly that push up on high ground looks significantly worse. They do spot out Miracle heading off to the side here, and this might cue them to head over and check the trees, and he is still stuck over in this area. They're moving. They're looking. Miracle... Do they realize where he's at? Sam H is going to run into him here in the trees. He does have a leap, jumping away. Raven on top of him, but they aren't going to be able to catch up and kill him off, it looks like. He is still a little bit too quick.
Yeah, if Miracle was paying attention to his status counters, he would have also noticed Deja and Aura being applied to him, or at least his movement speed changing. It's a small thing to pick up, but I'm pretty sure Miracle is the type of player that pay attention to stuff like that.
Oh, are they going to get the courier snipe here? They might just.
No, it's being microed, and now they're going to go onto the high ground, trying to take down the tier 3 mid. There is no response. The arrow is going to get spin dodged.
Yeah, they actually do kill off the courier. The Deso on Weaver doing so much damage. It's a tier 3 down, and there's no response. They're not even split pushing at this point. They can't. It's too hard, and now Shrine's going to be taken down. They're going to set themselves up for a good next Rosh if they want, and Mineski just do not have an answer.
Mineski is really, I don't want to say they're crumbling, but they're making a ton of mistakes. That courier that was just flying through,
yeah,
that could have been easily avoided. Just small stuff like that, man. I don't know if Mineski feels fatigue from that very long last game, but they're under a lot of pressure again, and they need their A game to have a shot against TNC.
It's definitely a ton of pressure for these teams. Again, this is elimination match. They've been able to, Mineski, pull it back from the jaws of defeat the earlier game that we saw. But it's also their style of play, not willing to take a bad team fight, instead waiting for the one they know that they're at least going to have a chance at winning. Because if they try and jump into there, what's their answer? How do they take that fight? Like trying to jump the Omni most likely, but they can't get into him because there's a gem. So I think that this is by and large the right play. It's really hard to watch for them because feels as if they have no momentum.
It's not about jumping into that fight, but rather how quickly they got surprised by it, right? Because you just saw the whole team of TNC pushing a bottom. The next logical play is to roam mid, and they kind of allowed that to happen, which I found that surprising.
Right. Well, again, a dire scan spots them out, realizing they could be in the area. Might be able to get a courier snipe of their own, which would be pretty nice, although doesn't look like it's actually going to happen. That's a Glimmer Cape done as well. Oh, man. Rior is so farmed.
Oh, Mirana, bottom lane. He's going to get Fire Blast by actually leaping in. No, now leap to the circle. What, can he actually complete the TP? Is the question.
Oh, my God. Ooh. All right, you need a little bit of luck every now and then. That would have been a huge pickup if they could have killed off Miracle right there.
But space is created. Mid lane, Shadow Fiend with a double damage is going to force out a Glyph.
Yeah.
Jules, question mark. Time to get out, man, guys.
Maybe a bit too far. Yeah, he's going to end up force staffing and running away. That's a good decision to get out of there.
Radiant's middle tower has been denied.
Is that a force staff? What happened? Oh yeah, he has a Hurricane Pike. Duh. It's like, I don't see a Force Staff there. So, Omni Knight next building into a pipe most likely to deal with this high magical damage that's basically you've seen Mineski build into. In this game, do you like the idea of Miracle going back for more right-click oriented builds? Like maybe a Diffusal Blade to deal with the Omni Knight and just also be able to ramp up that damage?
I think it's actually good to split your damage source. Like, you want your Mirana to deal the magic damage, and then your Shadow Fiend to pack the physical hits. I think it's a good split there because of the items, like, you know, Mech as well as Pipe and Guardian Angel. I think it's too dangerous to actually commit to all physical damage. R checking for the Roche.
Rior also, they realize that they are going into it, and Cuckoo's starting to hit away. We'll have to see if there's any type of reaction, the movement in, but there's already a Sentry Ward down. Might end up scouting out RR here as well. Shadow Fiend on top of it, BKB, they get a good Impale, the Requiem as well, but it's not enough damage, and now the Raven is all over the Shadow Fiend. He's gonna drop RR in trouble as well. Everybody is alive for TNC, and it looks like they are going to be able to secure Roshan most likely. Very well played.
I think in a heads-up team fight, there's really no way TNC will lose it with the Mech, with the Guardian Angel, with the Omni Knight.
I didn't even use Guardian Angel. What the heck?
I mean, he didn't need it, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was really just the Mech. I found it surprising that Shadow Fiend just went in there like that, and that was his 10-second BKB.
Yeah.
I think the only shot that Mineski has in this game, especially after that team fight, is to avoid fight. I mean, you see TNC grouping up like that, you just delay that push as best as you can, and you have Miracle to split push and force them back. I don't think Mineski, at least in the next 20 minutes, have a shot at taking 5v5s.
Well, 14-5, certainly not what we were expecting coming into this game number 3, but based on the draft, based upon the play, everything else, they swap in Miracle. All right, a good Impale. Is it going to be enough, though? He's still in trouble. That countdown for Starstorm, it doesn't even matter. Maybe he's going to get to the Shrine. No! Oh. Raven found him. They got the kill. Rior not going to die either here. They got the Glimmer Cape. They are going to be able to find another good Impale. Sam H controlled, but that's going to be Sam H just out of there as well. Raven may be in trouble here.
And the Raxus is going to go down already. Raven will time-lapse, and they are on the way out. I just don't think Mineski have the mobility to keep up here. And I'm not sure what that leap was from Mirana. Did he leap in or blink in? Either way, that was a one-way trip, man.
Well, it was also the swap, too. That was the other big thing. Like, Venge played that quite well.
Yep.
So,
and Miracle is doing the right thing. He needs that Lincolns, but you know, 2-3 deaths is really slowing it down.
This Omni pick just feels so good to me. You've got all of these defensive abilities, so much magical damage out from Mineski, and now you've got the pipe done too. So I'm struggling to see what it is that you're gonna have to deal with all of this, either damage mitigation or heals.
You don't fight. That's the answer.
Exactly, but when they're knocking on your front door, what you gonna do?
I mean, Miracle needs to be at their front door as well. I mean, they can't trade buildings or anything, but you disincentivize them from pushing.
Well, there's the pressure up on the high ground. They can pipe in a bit if they want, or they can just hit the tower, drop in down so low, and Miracle is up here making it happen as well.
Okay, Blinking Pale.
Oh, Hurricane Pike keeps them back. Jules stunned. And it does look like they're going to be able to pull him back in. That's a Shadow Fiend dead. Ninja Boogie going to get ran down here. Jules in trouble as well, but well, eyes on the prize. Another melee barracks to fall. They got the CM ulti, but is it going to be nearly enough? No is the answer. And now RR also forced to run away. They can throw out these Suns all they want. And Miracle doing his best down the bottom. He does get a lane of melees.
He needs to come back right now because his team's crumbling. That's a dieback from the Shadow Fiend. Miracle leaps in and gets out, but
I mean, the Ghost Scepter just barely saving the rampage there for Raven.
TNC is going to get Mega.
TNC, they're all over it. They're going to take down the Tier 4s. And I think this might just be it. I think that TNC is going to be joining Faceless and Kiev unless something magical happens here at the end. They're buying back, but the Ancient is falling. They don't have an answer. Stun, Raven, possibly. Cuckoo as well. The Mjolnir procs, they're all going. But Shadow Fiend dead, CM dead. Everybody's dead, and good game's going to get called. TNC to another major LAN, and unfortunately, Mineski going to be denied again.
Congratulations to TNC. I think it's really hard to argue against them. They are looking so strong. They won so many best of 3 in clutch moments. I do feel for Mineski, especially Miracle.
Yeah.
This land is not his land, but maybe next time.
And it's something, too, where they looked so good through those group stages, but it's a grueling set of games.
I mean, Clutch Gamer looked better.
To be fair, they did as well.
Yeah.
So neither of the teams that look the best are going to end up moving on. I mean, Faces looked really the best. So we got to keep it there. But, yeah, TNC, I think that we saw also not necessarily like a ton of growth, but the ability to react to what was happening. That first day looked so bad for TNC, dropping a bunch of games.
I saw growth today from Tim's, man. He started the game started the day with 0-12, and then he was, I don't want to say perfect, but he was close to it.
Yeah, definitely. Great Ogre game here, getting more out of these than you would have expected otherwise. Yeah, really impressive display, and I'm excited to see what they can do at the Major. Joining Faceless, SCA region has a lot of competition, but these two stand above. How do you think they're going to do against some of the other teams? Not to put you on the spot too much.
I think SCA, I mean, these games look hype, but watching some of the Euro game, watching some of the China games, I think the C is perhaps half a step behind.
Okay.
And we still got a lot of time to prepare for the international teams, but a lot of preparation needs to be made. I even think TNC perhaps is a little bit more well-equipped to deal against the foreign team than Faceless.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. I mean, Faceless did do quite well in a couple of tournaments, but they have traditionally shown that they have some trouble dealing with the other European and international teams as a whole. TNC, of course, their performance at WSG against teams like Cloud9 Alliance was really great, and then they ended up going and taking top 4 at StarLadder as well. Ain't nothing to sneeze at.
World champion, man.
Absolutely. Well, again, congratulations to TNC. Good game from Mineski. They pushed it to 3, but weren't able to finish it off at the end. It's always next time. And from us here at Southeast Asian Coverage, I think that's going to conclude. We got EU, we got China next, got NA later.
SA, bro.
SA as well. Not today. That's the team to watch. And we will see you guys later. Myself, Lyrical, Lumi, signing out for now. We'll see you guys next time.